Hey everyone, really wanted to give you almost like a public service announcement that, boy, the temperatures are really dropping. And for this time of year, I'm shooting this on October 9th right here. The temperature change that's coming across the country is going to push a lot of mature bucks on their feet into daylight hours. And this is that time of year where everything's changing. You have new bucks coming into land. They're getting into places where they like to reside during the fall. From their summer hangouts. Summer hangouts, they're not there for that long. That time is fleeting in the beginning of the year. This is that time of change. And so when you see a big cold front like this, they move. And so what that means for you, you have to get out in the stand. And what I'm seeing are like around our area, southwest Wisconsin, southeast Minnesota, the temperatures are really literally dropping 25 degrees from Friday to Monday this weekend. You go over to an area like, let's say Columbus, Ohio, 21 degree drop from Saturday to Monday. And then when you go down to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, even from Sunday to Monday, a 19 degree temperature drop. Those are huge. That means big winds, a lot of weather to get that temperature to drop, and that creates opportunity. Creates opportunity because deer need to feed 5 times in a 24-hour period. I know I say this all the time, but I have to say this, and it's so important. When those deer miss feedings, they get hungry. And 5 times in a 24-hour period, that means if a storm's coming through and it takes 2 days to drop that temperature and there's big winds, lots of commotion, extreme weather, what that means is as soon as that breaks, those deer are on their feet. Very important to remember. And what I like to call this time of year is the pre-rut. And I'm not just making this up. What ends up happening is we would start hunting Wisconsin. We drive 7 hours from the UP in Michigan since 2021 or 2001, I'm sorry. And we would drive that distance, we would hunt, and we would come about every 2 weeks. So all of a sudden we'd come down, and for 2 weeks we hadn't been there, and there's all these rubs and scrapes, and you look back and see, man, on the 18th, on the 15th, on the 12th, there was a giant cold front. And what ends up happening is bucks feel a little bit more inclined to be on their feet, really moving around. They lay a bunch of sign down. And so in that pre-rut period, you're looking at just a flurry of activity where they start saying, hey, it's almost a rut. I'm gonna lay down a bunch of rubs and scrapes. Instead of going just from bedding to feeding, I'm gonna go from bedding to bedding. I'm gonna turn sideways instead of going straight ahead to that food source every afternoon. So all of a sudden they cover a few more acres. They're 100 yards this way, 200 yards this way, and that puts them in front of a lot more stands, even in the same given night. So look for that activity, kind of a pre-rut activity, which is kind of cool. Just a flurry, and this is what causes that flurry. And it kind of starts that roller coaster of big fronts coming across the entire country and that opportunity that they present. We're just coming back from Canada right now, and we're coming down back during a warm front. My daughter's getting married this weekend, and then we get to hit it hard on this front because our temperature's dropping on Monday, and we're gonna be here, so that's kind of cool. But after that pre-rut period, rut and pre-rut, I'm starting to think morning hunting. This is not necessarily a time for morning hunting where you're gonna find these bucks on their feet for 3 or 4 hours up until noon and really moving around. Instead, you really have to focus on those food sources. Bucks are becoming more social this time of year. You see more social interaction between each other, more sparring. They're leaving rubs and scrapes around. And so they're doing so a lot of times in those food sources. So I want to get to those food sources, and I want to make sure I'm sitting a long afternoon sit that I can get in and out without spooking deer. And all that being said, I want to make sure that with the pre-rut period and the rut period coming up and not that far away, that I don't want to burn these stands out. I don't want to pressure things. So I'm taking careful, calculated afternoon rutting sits. Water holes are great. Small food sources, small food plots, apple trees, acorn flats, whatever it might be. I'm getting into those remote hot spots, expecting a flurry of rut activity right on the back side of this front. And always keep in mind that it's, people focus on that barometric pressure sometimes. Barometric pressure sometimes reflects good hunting, sometimes it doesn't. Because if you have that major temperature change and deer are hungry, temperature's dropping, they're stressed out, they're missing feedings, they want to feed. That's That's biological. That's something that they're going to do. However, when you have major weather conditions that have subsided, they want to go eat. It doesn't matter if the pressure is going to be better in 2 days, 3 days. It doesn't matter what the barometric pressure is. It could be, quote, good. It could be, quote, bad. For that matter, we'll throw in the moon. The moon could be, quote, good or, quote, bad. It doesn't matter. It's time to get out and hunt, because when those conditions present themselves, it's awesome. So if you purely go by the moon, for example, or the barometric pressure, you're going to be led astray more often than not, because it's not truly reflecting what's happening in the deer woods, especially when it comes to the weather. And again, weather, some people say it doesn't do anything in the deer world. Always think about blizzards, bad weather, hurricanes lately, unfortunately. You think about those weather extremes, deer don't move. They're more in survival mode. They shelter up, they miss feedings, and they don't move. So when the conditions subside, they have to eat. It's a roller coaster of feeding. They have binge and famine. They go eat. It puts them on their feet. And this weather change this weekend is an incredible opportunity for you to be in the whitetail woods, hit your favorite stands. Always be mindful that in just a couple weeks, you're gonna have your perfect rut stands, so don't blow those out. But it's a great time to be in the woods. You can bet we will be in the woods. And this really starts to begin those exceptional weather roller coaster events of boom and bust, and really honing you in and helping you hone in the woods. I'd rather hunt Monday, Tuesday this week to come, and it might be the winds are still there, you know, the backside of the front. It might be, I don't typically find great movement when it's calm. I like a little bit of wind, but regardless, we're hitting this time perfect for us personally. We're going to be in the woods, but this starts that roller coaster of weather events and that up and down opportunity from now in through mid to late November. So it's game on. I hope it's game on for you. Don't miss this opportunity. Get out in the woods. And I would rather hunt Monday or Tuesday, just one of those afternoons, than have a whole 3-day weekend when it's warm this weekend, because you can hang your hat on deer movement and really giving you an efficient use of your time, maybe your days off in the whitetail woods coming soon near you. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. You're our best followers. You followed all the way to the end of the video. Really invite you to check out our website. We have our Earthway spreaders for sale, great Christmas presents. We're booking clients right now, all 5 of us. So by the end of December, it seems early, but by the end of December, our schedule will be booked for 2025. It's hard to believe. I'm already booked for December and most of January, February. We have our web classes, the Rut web class, how to design your whitetail property, and really important, hunting hills and thermals, understanding the wind. Those are great products on our site, all the books. Thank you so much for watching all the videos, buying the seed that you did this year. Really appreciate you.